You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 447 of Podketeers. This week we talk about dinosaurs in Beijing, selling the Disneyland marquee, the Heyzen Creature Shop brings life to a horror franchise, La Brea Bakery in downtown Disney abruptly closes, Andrew continues his Disney 100 but in 50 weeks, so it's 2 a year by Andrew Extravaganza, Podketeers sponsored by Honda Disney History segment. Whew, that was a mouthful. We might need your help for a nicer title. Join us on Discord. Let us know what you think or what you would like the title to be. And we get a late-breaking news segment from the Podketeers newsroom for a bunch of headlines that hit shortly after we recorded this episode. We'd love for you to join the conversation over on our social networks, including Instagram and Facebook, but we invite you to join us on Discord. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to podketeers.com/links and click on the Discord button to join our community. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers After Show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. All right, it is time to jump into this episode. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoy the episode and that you come back for more. And of course, if you've been hanging with us for some time now, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 447 of Podketeers.
No. I was taking a picture to send you guys something to show what I was going to talk about.
It's not selfie time. Let me take a selfie.
Oh, no.
Remember that song? Let me take a selfie.
Song. That's my theme song. Everywhere I walk, that's what's happening. Duck face and all. Every piece of merch that I find, I hold it up in the air and
I don't know
take
if
a picture of it.
I don't know if I'm purposefully doing the music wrong or I just don't remember how it goes. It could be a little bit of both. It's something like that, though, right?
Yeah.
No, that's Crazy Frog.
Oh, okay. That's not
that's Crazy Frog.
Bump. Nope, I was gonna do Crazy Frog again.
You're gonna do it again.
That's funny. Bump bump ba-da-dum, bump ba-dum, bump 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 bump.
Nope, Super Mario World.
No.
Bump ba-dum, bump bump ba-da.
Indiana Jones. We're getting closer, though. That's it. Nailed it.
Yeah, that's it.
Let me take a selfie. Dun da da. Dun 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 da. I'm gonna take a selfie.
That's what comes after. Let me take a selfie.
No, Darth Vader has to do it.
Obi-Wan
And
never
how
told
many
you what
copy
happened
strikes
to
is
your
that?
selfie.
That's funny. Hey, I forgot to mention this before we started, but did I show you guys the Spider-Man cards?
You sent us a text with it, but I haven't seen him in like over video a person.
Oh,
yeah.
Check it out. Where did I leave them? Oh
I don't know. Those are the other Spider-Man cards. There they are.
Yeah. So I have two sets of Spider-Man's cards. The one that I've shared with the FGP Squad on the happy hour calls, it's the ones by the manufacturer Card Mafia, which they split open twice. The spider glows blue, and then you split it into the second one, the spider glows red. Now, the thing about these cards is that I don't necessarily like the design of them. I also don't like the face cards that came along with them. They're okay. They're just not like my favorite.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always thought to myself, like, if anybody else ever does like a Spider-Man's deck, I hope that it's nicer, and then I can replace the deck inside the Card Mafia tuck because it's super nice, right? And then Theory 11, one of the companies I buy a lot of my decks from, recently they did the Dark Knight playing cards, which I showed you not too long ago, Batman. Dark Knight. And they just released a Spider-Man one, and check out the tuck case on this.
It's so shiny.
Look how pretty that is.
That is pretty.
It's the Iron Spider. It's gold and shiny red and shiny blue, and look how shiny the gold is. And so the tuck on this one is absolutely gorgeous. The inside of it has the black and gold, like the rest of the spider suit. And then the back of the cards has 3 Spider-Man heads, one for each of them, integrated into the design.
Heyzen, that is 6.
Yeah.
Yes, that is 6.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm only thinking about half.
It's a mirrored. I know. I'm being. I'm being a little stinker.
And then there's the Iron Spider, like legs that pop out of the back of Peter's butt or whatever.
The Iron Spider from everybody's favorite movie, Wild Wild West, with Will Smith. Yeah.
And then the Ace of Spades has the meme of the 3 Spider-Men pointing at each other.
Is it
Which
Spider-Men
is cool.
or Spider-Mans?
I don't know. I go with both.
Good question.
Like sometimes I say Spider-Man, sometimes I say Spider-Men, Spider-Manses, Spider-Menses, Spider-Chums.
I before E, except after C.
Exactly.
Maybe it's like Moose.
Moosin?
Moosin. Yes.
Is it Moosin?
Oxen. Boxen.
Boxing.
So it's just Spider-Man is singular and plural.
Yeah.
A gaggle of Spider-Men.
Ooh. I guess it's
Spider-Man.
better than if they were crows, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I love this. I have gone on record this week as saying that it's quite possibly my favorite tuck case that Theory 11 has ever designed.
So now you're in a dilemma.
I'm a huge dilemma now, right? Because I wanted to replace the cards from, if the cards were nicer, I knew these cards were coming. I just didn't know what they were going to look like. And so the idea was I was going to put these cards into the other tuck, but I would be doing this tuck an injustice if I did that because it's so gosh darn pretty. For those that haven't seen it, I posted a couple of pics over on the Discord server if you guys want to check them out. But
I think I
posted like an animated
You
GIF
did.
thing,
I believe you
which
did.
was pretty low res, but
I think we just need a Heyzen's card section of Discord.
maybe. You know, I thought about creating like a
collector corner.
Kind of, but like an Instagram account to do that because I know there's a lot of
Yes.
collectors that just tend to post like their collectibles.
Yeah.
And I think that's been one of the biggest challenges for me on Instagram recently because like the biggest thing that I posted, like really like 99% of the stuff on my Instagram was always photos from the parks.
Yeah.
And because I haven't necessarily gone, I haven't really posted anything. Like I've posted the podcast, obviously, in the reel section, but I guess I can go back into my archive and find some photos that I could edit and post, but I don't know if I necessarily want to do that. Like I would like to go back to the park and take new photos and post that, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So I've been stuck in this weird limbo when it comes to my Instagram account. And occasionally I'll post like a deck that I received or, you know, something I purchased that I really, really like that I think some other people might like to see as well, especially like the ones that glow in the dark and stuff. I haven't posted the Spider-Man one, but I mean, considering we're Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, you know, fans, you know, sometimes I do my best to post the stuff that I think would at least resonate with some of our listeners. And then other times it's completely self-serving. Like when I posted the creamsicle one, you know, I love orange creamsicle flavor. And when I got the playing cards that were based on orange creamsicle, I was like, this is tasty. So, yeah, I don't want to flood this account with a bunch of playing card stuff. But then I don't know when I'm going to do the Disney stuff again, which I'm going to eventually do. So I've been contemplating starting another account that just has, like, my playing cards. But I don't know, like this one, right? Like, even if you don't like playing cards, like, check this one out. It's called In Session Junior Year. It looks like it's on a piece of paper, right? It's got a bunch
Yeah.
of doodles and stuff on the back. But then the really cool thing about this deck is that the backs look like Scantrons.
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
that is cool.
And then, so the faces are fairly standard, but they all look like they're sketched in like a notepad or something.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, great. That's nice.
Anyway, so, I mean, there's all these like cool cards that I want to share with the world, but otherwise they're just kind of sitting there, right? And then this latest one, Andrew.
What'd I do?
Sorry, everyone. I know this isn't interesting for everybody, but I just want to quickly show Andrew this before I forget. But one of the companies that I commonly purchase cards from released these decks of cards called Damn Good Cards.
Damn.
Literally what they're called. Damn Good Cards. And
That's
then they
what
got
they're
like
called.
some cool designs in the back. But they also included some quotes, and considering what we were saying a little while ago, I thought you'd get a kick out of this quote that came on this one.
All right, we're going to read it. I find that a duck's opinion over me is very much influenced over whether or not I have bread.
That's right.
Mitch Hedberg.
That's right. So a lot of me purchasing this one was influenced by the fact that the very first preview I got of Damn Good Cards was the Mitch Hedberg quote.
So that's the backside, the like where the quotes are. Where are the quotes?
They're
on.
randomly on. They have 2 quote cards in every deck.
Oh, okay.
This one right here is the black version of the deck.
I see.
I forgot what it's called, but this one has a Margaret Mead quote and a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote.
Okay, they're just included
just-
with. They're not like as
Yeah,
like
no.
a card. I see.
Instead of
Okay.
jokers, they included a couple of quotes in each one.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's a way to do it.
So I thought that was kind of nice. And so I got, it was a box set of 6, and they're kind of like mid-century design. They're very...
Yeah, that black one that you shared looks like the, reminds me of the Walt Disney Family Museum podcast logo.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody knows what-
Yeah, you're right. Now I'm not going to be able to unsee that, by the way. So anyway, I've been contemplating whether or not to start like another Instagram account, and then I just keep thinking about how it's so much extra work to have another Instagram account,
Who has the time?
right? So
I
don't know.
have 7 Instagram accounts and I use none of them.
Nice.
Well, not 7, and not none, but I'm exaggerating.
I'll figure something out. I like the unboxing videos that people do, and we've
Yeah.
talked about doing unboxing videos for like our channel, right? When we get like Disney merch and we just kind of unbox it, the D23 boxes and stuff like that. So I figure if I can, because I've had an opportunity to kind of rearrange my office to be more like recording friendly now, I figured like if I could set up a spot where we could do the unboxings for the podcast, then maybe I could use the same area to like unbox some of the decks of cards, and I don't know, I'll figure something out. I have some really cool decks that I feel like I want to share them, and it also gives me an excuse to open them.
Yeah.
And we've had this conversation about like Funkos and stuff, right? Like you buy the Funkos and you want to put it on display, which that's what they're meant for. But then if you leave them in the box, like, well, what if I sell them one day, and what are they going to be worth? And then I just keep thinking like, I'm never going to sell them. Like I bought them because I like them. I want to play with them. And so
Yes.
there's this common saying in the playing card world where people say you need to release the pips. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been releasing the pips and all these really old decks that were like, maybe one day it'll be worth a lot. It's like, I'm never going to sell it. I'm just going to open it and enjoy the damn thing. And that's kind of the kick I've been on. So I just thought it would be fun to share that with other people that might enjoy that as well. So
I say
I don't
go
know, stay
for
tuned.
it.
Yeah,
Stay tuned.
exactly. I've been opening my stuff too. It's none of this stuff is, I don't think, going to be worth enough to make it worthwhile. Like if I had something and it was worth $1,000, like in the grand scheme of things, that's like, it's not going to be, I'm not set for life because one toy I have is worth $1,000.
Right.
Like it's nice, but you know, I held it for that long, and you know, in 40 years maybe it's worth that much. Who knows? Like it's that's my kind of viewpoint on it. I keep the boxes just in case because I like the boxes, and you never know. But I'd let my toys be free.
Let them breathe. Yeah. I mean, it's different if you inherit something, right? Because
Right.
then there isn't that connection of I went through the process of either saving money for it or, I purchased it. Like if you inherited, actually, this leads nicely into that collector lady because I wanted to talk about this again. But
yes, it does.
if you were just going to, like, let's say that one day you inherited the original Disneyland marquee. We're not going to say how you inherited, but let's say you inherited the Disneyland marquee. You would keep that for a while and you would display it and you'd be like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing ever. But then if John Stamos was like, dude, I'll give you $1 million for it. Are you really going to say no to $1 million from Stamos? Like, I would be like, John, listen, I will sell it to you, but you have to invite me to the barbecues going forward so that I can enjoy the sign as well. Right? I think it's a good trade-off. Like I would even go as far as like, look, you don't even have to give me the $1 million. Give me like 8 or 9, but as long as I can come visit it every so often and come to the barbecues, I think we're good.
I mean, you're set for life, and then you're going to be the person forever in legacy that sold that marquee to John Stamos. Yes. Yes.
Right?
Just give me that check.
Yeah. With the clause that I get to go visit it.
Yeah,
I
that
want
too.
visitation rights, and to get to hang out with John Stamos. I mean, that's nothing to laugh at, right? He seems like he's a fun hang.
Yeah.
He plays the Beach Boys sometimes.
Right? All the time. That's what he's known for. But anyway, so this is a great segue because several podcasts ago we ended up talking about someone on TikTok that had posted these findings in their attic of when her grandfather used to work at Disneyland. And it was great because there was like old pennants, there was pins, there was manuals, and he worked for the company and was able to create all these new treasures. And so at first when she posted it, it sounded like she wasn't aware of what she had. I wanted to comment on that again because even I thought, like, I don't necessarily know if she knows what she has. And then she corrected it and said, I know what I have, it's just how I speak. And I completely understand that. So the good thing is I don't think she's going to get hustled because she does have an awareness for the things that she found. But she posted a follow-up video. There was even more cool stuff in there. And I want to get in contact with her and be like, look, if you're going to give it away, please send some stuff my way. If you're going to sell it, come up with a fair price. Talk to a collector, like somebody that knows what they're talking about, or you come up with a price. And because we talked about this, where everyone's collectibles are worth whatever they're willing to pay for something. But like, the second video is even cooler than the first one. I should post it on Discord. That's what I'm going to do. I need to post it on Discord.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We're happy to take donations. Hey. I'll just
into the
throw our name in
Podketeers
there.
archives.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I mean, she needs to get in contact with like Richard Kraft or somebody to like go through this, and I'm sure he has contacts.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
To get this stuff sorted out. I mean, there was stuff in there like his like service awards and things like that were also in that second video too.
Yeah.
Just
The box of pins that she pulled out, I think, was my favorite part of that whole thing.
Just her composure too.
I know.
Would be
I'm
losing
like
it.
freaking out.
Yep. And she's like, and this, and this, and this, and I'm like, wow, this. You know what? Good for her. Because some of us would be acting a fool about this.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I'm sure she's had, she looked through it once at least before she made the video. It wasn't like blind opening up a box. What treasures lie beneath the lid of this, hat box or whatever. But yeah,
Hat box? Hat box?
Hat box, yeah. Hat box.
What if he found a ghost there? What if she found the original hat box ghost in the attic? Nobody knows where it is. Tony Baxter seems to think he knows where it is. Ish.
Well,
we wouldn't be composed. We'd be like this right now.
Like, it's not even my stuff, and my voice is like 8 octaves higher right now. So, yeah, I I want to call it once in a lifetime find, but it's not that rare, especially when you have folks that worked in the parks and kept a lot of that stuff. But I think the rarity in this find isn't necessarily the stuff that she's finding, because I think you can find a lot of that stuff. It's the condition that all of this stuff is in that's rare.
Definitely.
Right? Because
Yeah.
you can find a lot of collectibles, but they're kind of nicked. They're kind of, scrunched up. They're folded. They're not in their original form. And everything that she's finding, like those ticket books, to find entire ticket books like that are completely flat, not folded, not torn apart, that's something super rare. So
Well, also it's the thing of, so her grandfather was in advertising, I believe it was, right,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Disneyland. And so a lot of this stuff, could be very rare if you look into it, because they could be artist proofs and different things where these aren't even the marketed things. These are concepts. These are, the first run of anything. It could be unit number 1 off the line to check quality and all different kinds of stuff like that. So it's, the guy saving it could have not known what he had, or, at the time it wasn't as big of a thing, in the 70s and 80s, before the internet, it was, you had the Disneyana groups and conventions and things like that, and that was it.
yeah.
So I think there's probably some interesting things in there that, because she's gone in through just broad strokes, that could be very interesting and rare to find because of the position that he had. A lot of it that interests me is a lot of the maps and paper advertising. So that a lot of that stuff, I have a lot of ephemera, a lot of just paper, stuff that was like, today only this thing, and it's a little advertising thing, and then somebody decided to save it.
Yeah.
A sticker is meant to be stuck to your, they hand them out and you stick them to your shirt or whatever, but some people save those things, and that's
Yeah.
saying things that interest me are, stickers and paper things, and, among other things. I have lots of things but
Yeah.
I have lots of paper stuff is always interesting to me.
Well, I think a lot of it is, the other thing is that you never really know what's going to be considered collectible, right? There's a lot of
True.
stuff that the park creates and they hand out that you just never know what's going to hit. You never, like, something could happen where an attraction goes away sooner than expected. And so, like a park guide, for instance, or the park guide from when an attraction opens, or the day it closes, or the fast passes. I have fast passes from Haunted Mansion and Space Mountain, I think, from the last day that they had the fast pass thing. I also have stamped day and time fast passes the day that the Hatbox Ghost was introduced to the Haunted Mansion. So stuff like that, I think is cool to collect. One of the rarest things that I remember having, which honestly I don't even know where it is now, one of the original decoder cards from Indiana Jones.
Nice.
I had one of those, and I honestly have no idea where it is at this point. Like, I could go check our storage stuff and, see if I still have it. But, like, stuff like that is also so small that if you're not careful, like, I've put stuff in books or other things and accidentally sold the book or given, like, donated the book, and things have just left with the book, right? So...
Right.
you have to be careful, and when you have too much, that's the other thing. Like, you have to think about storage and everything. So,
Yeah.
when I get the Disneyland marquee, that's gonna be different, right? But little stuff
that'll
like
be
this.
a backyard staple.
Yeah,
You can't give that one away in a book.
yeah. I finally found those Osimo coins that I had told you about. Like, I was digging in the storage stuff, and I found the Osimo coins. I found 3 of them. And so I told you, Andrew, if I found them, I would send you one. So I'm going to send you an Osimo coin.
Okay, yo soy bird.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's what the bird says. He says yo soy bird, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I making that up?
No,
Yeah, okay.
that's what he says, yeah.
Okay. Melissa gave me a look like I was insane.
No, that's what he says.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard him say that. That's all like,
And on Autopia.
Yeah, when you're
He's-
oh,
when
I
you're
don't
rounding
pay
the corner.
attention.
I want to say it's the one where there's the clothing line.
You know what? I'm gonna have to
It's
double
on
check
Autopia
on YouTube.
somewhere. Yeah.
His name is Bird. Yo soy Bird.
Anyway, so we're gonna post the video over on Discord so you can check it out. And if there's anything in that collection that, let's say, this TikToker said, "Hey, I'm just gonna give this to you. Pick something. Just take whatever you want." When you look at these videos that she's posted, I'll try to post them back to back so that you could see everything that she's posted so far. But if there's anything in that collection, what would you want to keep? We all like to collect different things, but when you watch these videos, what would you like to keep from that collection if she offered it to you? Join the conversation over on Discord. If you haven't joined the community, it's super simple to do so. Head on over to podketeers.com/links, and you will find a link to our Discord there. So, I want to ask you about this La Brea Bakery thing that blew up on Discord today, because I need to get filled in with everything that's happening. Later in the episode, we also have your segment for what are we calling it? I think we put out a call for people to help us name it, but we haven't really received anything. So if we don't get anything this week, we're officially going to name it.
Yeah, and it's gonna be very long-winded, so it's gonna be a pain in the butt for Heyzen to type into the episode description every week.
Oh, I'll give it an acronym.
Copy paste.
Have some mercy for Heyzen.
I'll make an acronym for it. Or
help me name this thing, or it's gonna be something sponsored by Honda, presented by Honda.
Or I will take the entire name, post it once, and then I will put in parentheses,
copy it,
henceforth known as Andrew's segment. That's just how I refer to it. Andrew's segment, presented by Honda.
There we go. You know what? Maybe it's just Andrew's segment. We'll come up with something.
Yeah.
We're smart.
Okay, so we got that.
are smart.
All right. Oh, hey, this is not Disney park related, but I've been thinking a lot about other parks recently because of the opening of Super Nintendo World at Universal, right? And I did want to bring up this attraction because I saw a ride-through because, I don't really travel that much. So the way that I experience attractions is on YouTube, thankfully. People post entire attraction, like ride-throughs, and I get to enjoy them. And the latest attraction that I had an opportunity to ride around the world was Jurassic World Adventure in Beijing. And let me tell you, this is next level Jurassic parking when it comes to an attraction. Okay? One, I think that the Jurassic Park attraction that we have here at Universal Studios in Hollywood, it's fine. I think what they've done with it is really, it's really exciting. The Indominus Rex is in there. They have like a big head that comes out, like, rah, right? Like falling down, Pirates of the Caribbean style. But man, the one in Beijing, there is a T-Rex chase. You are involved in a chase. And the way that they execute it and the way that they do that scene is so freaking creative. If you are aspiring to be an Imagineer or any type of attraction, like theme park attraction builder, watch this attraction and study the mechanics, because that scene alone sells this entire attraction for me.
This ride is bananas.
B-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-N-A. Banana.
Banana.
Instead of, you know how there's ponchos and stuff. Diapers are needed. I'm just going to say that because if you're afraid of dinosaurs, or if you know someone who is, it looks that good. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is, teeth.
It's bananas. Like there's no other way to. It's. I don't know. They definitely had their whatever budget they wanted for this ride, this attraction, for sure. Like, we've talked about it before, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again. How budgets come into how an attraction ends up being. So something is blue skied in a way that is very, very cool, and then becomes, much, much less depending on the budget that they are given or cut, way afterwards. That's, a famous one is Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin at Disneyland was going to have a second story and all this, other stuff that was cut because of budgets. There's Galaxy's Edge and all the different attractions that, it was going to have, including the Bantha walk around the land thing that was cut for budget reasons and things like that. This ride, I think they just said, spend what you want, because I see no expense spared on theming, on animatronics, on
effects,
anything anybody wanted to put in this ride. It seemed like it got put in, because if you can have a dinosaur chasing you, its legs moving and it moving out of its space in following you through the ride is no small feat and no small price tag. So
right.
they hit it out of the park, and definitely worth a watch for sure. Multiple watches like I did. It's crazy. I don't even know where to begin on it. It's you got to see it for yourself.
Yeah. And I feel like it's been a little bit of a trend with the attractions that come from overseas, where they announce an attraction and there's an expectation of what that attraction is going to look like and feel like. And then they open it and it kind of blows you away. It's like so much better than what you were expecting, which has sadly been a little bit of the opposite here, right? Like you said, we're always missing things. The budgets are a little bit different than how they began, and we end up getting, a cut down version of what was originally promised. And so if they went through the process of adding the additional things, I think it would be different. I think it's just kind of like, oh, well, phase 1, we're going to add this and this, and phase 2, if they would introduce it like that, I think there would be less people like talking about it less when they finally open it. But yeah, like these attractions in some of the parks overseas they're so mind-blowing, man. Like they do use a lot of screens, especially towards the end. It's very like Fast and the Furious with like the way that they're projecting a lot of the chase scenes. And of course, Bryce Dallas Howard still running around in high heels, getting away from dinosaurs. So, she the real MVP, I guess. But
yep.
I mean, the T-Rex at the end, the Indominus Rex battle that they have, like it's just the entire thing. You're right, Mel. If you don't like dinosaurs, like you tread lightly on this one. And if you didn't have a fear of dinosaurs, this might give you one, because they look so freaking good. The entire thing is just so well done. The video that I've seen this one, I think, a few times. The one that I've had an opportunity to watch was posted by a Disney Parks addict, and it's around 8 minutes long. It's fantastic quality. And the thing that really throws me is that whatever type of screens they're using for some of these attractions overseas just look good on the cameras, the way that they're being recorded. Whereas if you try to go to Universal or any of the attractions like here at Disney, there's always like the frame rate is different, or if they have it in like you need 3D glasses or some kind of thing to make it look proper, and it's just cumbersome to have to use an additional device like the plastic glasses or whatever. But like it just looks so clear. Like I've never gotten any video or picture like going through the Fast and the Furious attraction that looks anything as clean as this. Granted, that attraction is super old, right? So it's old technology. But even new stuff, I think I haven't been able to get anything that crisp out of it. So anyway, it's definitely worth a watch. The video will also get posted on Discord if you haven't had an opportunity to see it. But, whew, that I'm telling you, that chase scene alone gets your heart racing. Like you try to watch that in the dark. Watch it in the dark on a big screen TV, and then just sit right in front of it. It's like you're riding the ride. That's how I ride dark rides. Turn off all the lights, and I sit in front of a big TV, and I'm just kind of riding through it.
That's the way to do it.
Okay. Oh, you know what? We're talking about animatronics. Animatronics. Yay. Hey. Five Nights at Freddy's. Are either one of you familiar with this game?
Yes.
That's like the like weird Chuck E. Cheese.
It is.
Yes.
Don't get
Yeah.
killed in a Chuck E. Cheese thing, right?
Exactly. So Five Nights at Freddy's, I think this year is celebrating its 10th anniversary. And there's been talks about a movie for a really long time, to the point where I think fans of the franchise were just like, meh, it's never going to happen. It went to meme status, right? It's just everyone's talking smack about never getting a movie for this. Well, it's finally happening. But the tie-in that I think is most important to us is the fact that guess who's creating the animatronics for this film?
Me.
Yes!
It was me. I
Yes,
did it.
you did
I'm
it.
making the animatronic
Good job.
for Fast Times at Freddy's High School. That's what it's called, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
No. So Jim
Oh,
Henson's
wasn't
Creature
me.
Shop is going to be creating the
Oh.
animatronics for this.
That makes more sense.
They are good at what they do, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I might have done better, but they didn't even give me the chance. So
We lobbied for you,
you
man.
get what you get with Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
you know, they'll put something.
I guess
out,
we'll
right?
see. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that they got them to do it, considering that Jim Henson, the Creature Shop, does some really great work when it comes to odd-looking creatures and odd-looking puppets and animatronic-y stuff. Look, the Five Nights at Freddy's, definitely not for kids. Some kids might be able to handle it, but it's not, because it's
creepy.
a game. It's creepy. There's a lot of jump scares, really, that are
Yes.
attached to the game. It's not like other stuff where it's like gory and stuff like that when it comes to the horror aspect of it, but there are a lot of jump scares. So, you know, if your kids can handle that, and they can handle some creepy looking bears and animals, like Andrew said, like this Chuck E. Cheese style aspect of the place, you know, and they have like razor sharp teeth, then yeah, your kid can handle it, right? But I think every parent can gauge, but it is meant for like preteens and teens. But I just thought it was super cool that the Creature Shop was going to be handling the animatronics for this. I've never been like a fan of the franchise, but I have to admit, knowing that the Creature Shop is doing the animatronics, I kind of dig it, and I want to watch it now.
Just to see the results.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And then I want to see
You
Andrew
guys
create
report
mock-ups. And
yeah,
then
I'll
we'll
make my
compare it.
own.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's characters look like, so I'm just gonna do it off the dome. Like, I'm just gonna make them up.
Just
Oh,
go for
that's
teddy
even
bears.
better. Yes.
Yeah.
Think.
Is there like a character for each night, or is it just Freddy? Is just one? There's just a guy named Freddy, or is Freddy like
No, they're
like
different
the
characters.
owner, and then there's like
No, they're-
so it's like there's like Munch and Pasquale.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Jasper.
Exactly.
and-
Like
and-
Freddy.
Okay.
Freddy is kind of the Charles Edward Cheese of it all.
entertainment. Easy.
I know,
entertainment.
but I like Edward.
Well, you're wrong.
I know I'm wrong. Fine. Entertainment
Charles
Edward Cheese.
Thank you.
Charles Entertainment Edward Cheese.
Perfect.
No, let me take that back. He is
Oh
now
boy.
Charles Entertainment Richard Cheese.
Richard. I like Richard Cheese.
Okay, we'll go with Richard instead of Edward. So Charles Entertainment Richard Cheese. That's his full
Perfect.
name now.
That's the title of
we'll
today's
let him know.
episode.
Man, honestly, those two things just kind of spurred. Like, they weren't even part of the topics. It's just like, I just needed to mention those. So,
Hold on. But we're on this kind of horror movie topic. It made me think of it. Have we talked about this before? The Winnie the Pooh horror movie that is
no,
coming
we
out?
haven't.
Wait, no, what?
Do we know about
We
this
No.
Winnie the Pooh
Yeah.
horror movie?
Tell me.
So
So Winnie the Pooh is in the public domain.
Right.
As of last year, I think. And so there's a movie coming out called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That is a horror movie with Winnie the Pooh.
I don't know why I'm so interested in this.
And some of the screenshots, let me tell you, are horrifying.
I have the trailer up right now, and it is bonkers.
They're releasing it
The
next month.
beloved
Oh.
childhood characters. What is this? I'm trying to read. Have been abandoned by Christopher Robin, and have turned wild. Is what we're seeing in this trailer. So if you want to see something very bizarre, there's this murdering Winnie the Pooh.
Talk about ruining your
Yeah.
childhood. Whoa.
Now, listen, if we just talked about Five Nights at Freddy's, that is super tame compared to what you're going to see in the trailer for this Winnie the Pooh movie. This is
I'm seeing
not
a
for
mask.
children. And
Nope.
in many cases, it's not for many adults either. I'll tell you the
It's
truth.
not for me. I don't know. Yes, this comes out soon.
Next
So
month. Yeah.
best of luck to y'all who are gonna go watch this gore fest with Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Everybody's favorite horror movie character, Piglet,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Winnie the Pooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, that just popped in my head when we were talking about the Fast Times at Freddy's High School. What are we? Five Nights at
Five
Freddy's.
Nights at Freddy's. Yeah.
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 So anyway, that's a thing that exists. So
And be careful.
Be on the lookout
Don't-
for that, or don't.
Don't search for it in front of your kids. There are some
Yeah.
images in there where, especially if they are Winnie the Pooh fans, like I said, Five Nights at Freddy's is super tame compared to what this film promises to provide, and just a
Yep.
little bit of what you see in the trailer. So, if you're into the gore stuff, it's a thing that's coming. I like horror films, so I'm kind of.
This ain't no A.A. Milne Winnie the Pooh.
It's definitely
Ooh.
not.
Up in here.
It's definitely not, right? But
I have a feeling that they had to put blood or something in the title so that it didn't just say, like, they didn't be cheeky and call it like Winnie the Pooh's 100-Acre Wood Adventure, and then some grandma takes their kids to see this rated R movie.
yeah,
Why is Winnie the Pooh rated R? I don't know. And so, yeah, I don't know. This is bananas. So very off topic. Well, kind of on topic, but what can you do?
those masks do look horrifying, though.
They do.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, majority of Disney's princess line, like all the films, they all come from the Brother Grimm.
That's
and
true.
Yeah, Hans
Yeah.
Christian Andersen, a lot of it's
all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like a twist to it. It's,
If there was ever characters that have been used by Disney, and you want to see the complete opposite of what Disney would ever even consider doing with these characters, that's what this film is, right? It is.
yeah.
It's definitely an indie film, right? And the masks that they have for the characters are absolutely horrifying. I don't think this is something that I'm going to go out and watch in the movies or anything. Like, I'm not itching to see it. Would I watch it maybe if it was like on a Hulu or a Netflix or something? Maybe. I don't know.
Disney Plus?
Yeah, it's so strange because, like I said, I like horror movies. I tend to lean more towards like the psychological horror than like the gory horror, but
right.
there's also the whole does not compute aspect to this in my brain where like Winnie the Pooh is Winnie the Pooh to me, right? He's a sacred little character, and I know that the Disney version of Winnie the Pooh is not the A.A. Milne version of Winnie the Pooh, but that's the one I grew up with and that's the one that I love. And so to see this shift in the character for something like this, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I want to put myself through that and tarnish what, like, even just watching the trailers, I'm like, yeah, I've seen enough, you know? But there's a part of me that's also kind of like I'm
Curious.
interested to see. Yeah, I'm
Well,
curious.
and I think that's what they're
exactly.
capitalizing on. It's such a ridiculous concept, and they're the first ones to make a Winnie the Pooh thing that's not Disney, since it's gone into the public domain. So it's kind of like I think that's where they're banking on getting their audience is. What is this bananas thing, and how are they even doing this sort of thing? The shock of, Steamboat Willie. Are we gonna have a Steamboat Willie horror movie?
Oh, jeez.
Trapped on a boat.
Oh no! I see. I don't know
let's
how
not
I
even
feel
put
about
it
that.
out in the world.
No.
Steamboat
Let's-
Willie murder rampage.
Let's not
or
even
whatever.
put that out in the world because
That's one way to give everybody nightmares.
right? Yeah. See, that's one that I definitely wouldn't even bother watching the trailer for because, like I said, I'm like, there's certain characters that are so sacred to me that, like, Steamboat Willie is one of those characters, right? I just couldn't put myself or even put that image in my head.
Nobody calls him by his full name, by the way.
Steamboat
William.
Aloysius William Mouse.
Mouse, yeah. I'm going to call him Steamboat William from now on.
Steamboat William. Presented by Honda.
Steamboat Will I Am. Oh, that's better.
Will I am.
Anyway, this is a late night episode, everybody.
Right?
It's getting
Right.
a little silly.
All right. Well, I think we should move on. There's a couple things that we want to cover. I want to make sure that you can fill me in on this whole La Brea thing that's happening, the La Brea Bakery thing that's happening.
Okay.
And then
Let's
we
do-
have your
yeah.
segment that we'll do that last. We'll do your 100
Okay.
years celebration, Wonder Oh Fun on a notepad presented by Honda thing by Andrew at the end.
Mhm.
But before we move on, I do want to remind you that this episode of Podketeers is brought to you by a fantastic group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. If you would like to join the FGP Squad family, it's super simple. You can start off by going to podketeers.com/FGP. There you will find some of our top contributors. You'll find a link to our Patreon, a little bit of info on the FGP Squad. And being a part of the FGP Squad family gets you some additional perks like access to our happy hour calls, some additional content that we've put up on Patreon, random giveaways, a special section of Discord, and more. If you have any questions on what the FGP Squad is about, feel free to send us a message. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. But of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. All right, Andrew. So I saw this thing that Albert posted. Albert is a member of the FGP Squad over on Discord. He posted that La Brea Bakery is closing, and I was kind of in and out, about what was happening. Fill me in. What's going on here?
Yeah. So abruptly this morning, we found out that La Brea Bakery at downtown Disney closed, and there was news to most everybody. From what it seems to be, the company has decided to exit the restaurant industry, and so they had 2 locations, one in LA that they've had since like the 80s or something like that, and then this downtown Disney one. And the company has decided to close their restaurants and just focus on their grocery store brands and their other endeavors. So they closed very quickly and abruptly. Supposedly Disney had a hiring event for the people that were working at La Brea Bakery. So hopefully those people are not out of a job. So that closed, and everybody's kind of speculating on what's going into this. This is, this morning, this afternoon, no news coming. I was doing a little bit of research trying to see what people are saying, and a lot of people are speculating Earl of Sandwich or Porto's are going into that location. So, which is an interesting thing. Earl of Sandwich has been, yanked around so much at downtown Disney, it's surprising that they're still like wanting to be around. But the consensus came announced that Earl of Sandwich is going to take the place of La Brea Bakery for limited time. So in a few weeks, Earl of Sandwich is going to pop up at La Brea Bakery for an undisclosed amount of time. And then after, I'm assuming that they're getting another location built in the new section of downtown Disney. Once that is done, they will vacate, and then there will be a second Porto's smaller location at this La Brea Bakery. So there'll be a Porto's over on the Disneyland Hotel side of downtown Disney, and then at this La Brea Bakery location. So it's been kind of a roller coaster of a day for people following the La Brea Bakery news. So it's quite interesting to see. I know a lot of people were sad to see La Brea Bakery go, including, you said your brother Heyzen was sad to see it go.
Yeah, my brother ate there a lot. Honestly, I've eaten at La Brea Bakery twice ever. And one of those times it was just to buy a soda.
That's more than me. So
Same.
I've never. What is, like, I'm assuming it's like sandwiches and stuff. Was there food, anything to write home about? Like, I've never been. I was like, oh, that might be a good spot. It always seemed to be somewhat busy of a line, so I didn't bother. But I don't know, since you've had it.
So it's got a whole bunch of different types of food, right? Like it had pancakes and French toast, and like they had wine, which I think was one of the more popular things that they sold there. Like I think we got like hot chocolate for the kids at one point. I got like a soda on a really hot day there, but the food is, pretty on par with any other like food at downtown Disney. Like it was nothing to like be like, oh my god, like I have to eat at La Brea Bakery. At least not for me, right? If I had to choose between that and Earl of Sandwich, like it's Earl of Sandwich all the way, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they had far better food, in my opinion, at Earl of Sandwich than they did at La Brea Bakery. The other thing that you mentioned is something that's happening, and the talk of something happening that I think for me is the more, I don't want to call it controversial because it's not really controversial. It might be controversial for me to say because of the popularity of it, but I don't.
Unpopular
there you go.
opinion.
It's
Exactly.
an unpopular opinion, yeah. But
Perfect.
I don't necessarily understand the big deal about Portos. I've had, a lot of the popular dishes that they tend to have whenever we had like potlucks at work or something, like, they would order food from Portos, and look, don't get me wrong, the food is good, but I don't think it's as great as people make it out to be. I think it's more the hype of people getting food from Portos and seeing those little yellow boxes that's like, oh my god, we got Portos. This is like, for me, there are meals and there are things that I've had at restaurants or like even on Disney property in general, right, where I bite into it, I'm like, hot damn, I need to buy this again. Like, I need this in my life frequently, right? And I don't think I've ever had anything from Portos that's made me feel like that. It's just like, all right, cool, it's good. It was like, thanks for lunch. Like, I feel like I'm the only one on this. Like, I've never heard people say that. I mean, am I alone? Am I alone on this one?
I've never been to Porto, so I can't tell you. I'm looking at their website now, so I'm trying to see where I fall here.
And see, I'm the opposite. I love almost everything that's on there, but it's just personal preferences. That's all. I mean, no one could say, oh, you're wrong. No, you can't force someone to be like, that's what they don't like. And it's just an opinion, and we all got one. And deal with it, I guess.
Turkey and gravy potato ball.
Oh, I love the potato balls. Those
So
are,
here's okay.
See,
So
that's
that's
just
the other thing, right? I've
Right.
had the potato balls, and almost everyone that I know, like my wife included, right? Like she's had like she loves Portos. Like, I've had the same things, and I just can't. I don't know. Like, I eat them, I'm like, what
It's
is
okay.
the hype about? Oh, okay.
It's-
So let me ask you this.
Hmm.
Because I think I've fallen into this category before too. Have you ever eaten something from Porto's from one location that was like super delicious, and then you had the exact same thing from another Porto's and thought, oh, that was not as good as I remember it being, or that
No, I
just doesn't
haven't.
taste good, or whatever?
No, I think no. I've had 2 different locations so far. Yeah, 2. Um, and I've been really satisfied with it. So I don't know if it was just that I'm really hungry at the time and I was just excited because of food. Or I maybe did hype myself up, but I've always been happy about it. And then I say that because I leave and then I'm like, oh, I don't know when I'm gonna get this again.
Apparently, they have bake at home.
They
I could just
do.
order Portos and send it to my house. So I could get a cheese roll and a chicken empanada at my house. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had
I never
that.
had it. I'm kind of out on this.
You know what? You know what? I just caught myself on something. I
Hmm.
actually have had something from Porto's that when I had it, I thought to myself, "Oh my god, I need that again." Like, oh, like wow, this like has to be in my life again, right? And that
Really?
was the dulce de leche roll. They have a little cake that's dulce de leche.
Oh.
That's the one that I've had. Like everything else is it's good. Like, and I don't want anybody to think that I hate it because it's it's good, right? But
Right.
it's not I don't know. I sound
this
like
way.
a jerk now.
No. Put it this way. Put it this way. To put it into today's term, or how are you feeling about it? Think of Avatar. Good film, but we don't want to see it. I mean, it's kind of like that. I mean, it's just preferences. That's all. You're fine.
they have those dulce de leche cookie thing you can order. I can't speak Spanish. I
Hey,
need
you're
a
doing
lesson.
good. Don't worry.
It's fine.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap this one up, and I'll just throw the question out to everyone else. How do you feel about Portos? I know on Discord there's a lot of fans of Portos. I know that a lot of the FGP squad, I know a lot of my friends, from work, also really enjoy Portos. And I don't know, maybe it was just like a location thing. Maybe it was the fact that when I ate them, look, and one of the things that I've always run into is I've always had Portos at work, right? And so it's always cold by the time that I eat it. And, even if you
Aw.
rewarm it up, it's not always great. So I'm wondering if there's some variable that has gotten me to the point where I can't enjoy it. Like maybe I need to eat it when it's warm, right? Like maybe I need to eat it like when it's fresh or something. I feel like I need to give it another shot to really to like put this baby to bed, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I
Uh-huh.
can't recall a single instance where I have had Portos, again, primarily always happened at work, like in the office. But I can't recall any instance where I've had Portos other than the cake where I thought to myself, yup, I'm ordering this for myself.
Yeah, I don't know. Cheese roll sounds kind of interesting, but then again, who knows? That sounds like something that you want hot.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna give it its fair shot. I know that if I said let's order Portos, my wife's gonna be like, yes, let's do it. So if we can get delivery, especially now we have one close to us.
I wonder if I can yell loud enough that she'll hear it through your headphones.
No, she's in a different room right now, but
Yeah,
Don't shout at his
you
ear.
don't be surprised how loud I can be.
yeah, but you don't want to blow out my ears.
No.
Or do I?
Um,
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so I think I'm gonna order some, or I'll get some, and I'll give it a shot one more time. But like that'll be it. If I think it's about the same when it's warm, then then that settles it. I just don't like Portos the way other people do. But maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Like
That's
maybe there's
okay.
some kind of weird variable that I'm not clicking with right now. Because everything that they have, it's like everything that they have is good. Like I like that type of food and everything. I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Late breaking news is coming into the Podketeers newsroom because sometimes Disney likes to release news after they know we've recorded our episode. Disney has announced that the Tron Light Cycle coaster at Walt Disney World finally has an opening date. Guests will be able to speed through the grid starting April 4th, 2023. In a surprise announcement effective immediately, free self-parking returns to Walt Disney World Resort hotels. Plus, coming soon, guests that purchase Genie Plus will be able to download attraction photos for free. Over on the West Coast, after the surprise announcement that La Brea Bakery was closing in downtown Disney, sadness struck. But that sadness soon took a 180 turn when news hit that park hopping will now begin at 11 a.m. for both Disneyland and California Adventure. Another perk coming as part of the Disney 100 celebration is that all guests at the Disneyland Resort will receive free attraction photos. Both of these changes begin on February 4th. While overall ticket pricing will remain the same, the Disneyland Resort has also announced that they will offer almost 2 months' worth of reservation dates at $104 per visit throughout 2023. Chairman of Disney Parks Experiences and Products Josh D'Amaro stated about these dates, "We want to make sure our fans are feeling the love. We're listening to them and we're trying to adjust." In Walt Disney Company news, 7-year member of the Disney Board and executive chairman of Nike Inc., Mark G. Parker, has been elected to succeed Susan E. Arnold as chairman of the board for the Disney Company. Among Mr. Parker's duties will be to chair the newly created succession planning committee of the board and will work alongside Bob Iger to advise on a CEO succession plan. While more announcements are dropping, we invite you to join us on Discord to continue the conversation about these topics. Until then, back to us. All right, I think it's time to wrap up the episode. So, Andrew, let's do this segment and keep up. You're gonna have to give it a name, at least a temporary name.
All right, here's the temporary name. The name is Disney 100, but in 50 weeks, so it's 2 a year. By Andrew Extravaganza Podketeers, sponsored by Honda.
Nice.
So much enthusiasm.
That's the name for this week. Maybe next week it'll be a little shorter. Who knows?
I like it. Let's put it
we'll
on a
come up with
sticker.
something.
Yeah.
Let's put it on a T-shirt.
Let's do it.
So anyway, we're back again with the covering 2 years of Disney history in order. So we've got this year's 1925 and 1926 this year. Start with 1925, which is a big growing year for the company. The studio they're grinding out Alice comedies at this point. So they've hired 5 new employees in 1925. Rudy Issing, Hugh Harmon, Ruth Disney, Irene Hamilton, and Walker Harmon in 1925. And in July of 1925, they're doing fairly well. Walt and Roy put $400 deposit down on a lot on Hyperion Avenue where they're planning to build their new studio. So that happens in 1925. Also 1925, July 13th, Walt and Lillian are married at Lillian's brother's home in Idaho. And by the end of the year in 1925, they had created 15 additional Alice comedies, bringing their total to 28 since they had started. So 25, big year for Walt, getting married and putting money down on the studio. That brings us into 1926. In January 1926, construction of the studio had been finished, and Walt and Roy moved their production over there to the 2719 Hyperion Avenue. But also in January, the Disney Brothers Studio, as it was called, changed their name to the Walt Disney Studio. So that's, branding change and kind of setting the precedent for the company going forward. This is also where we start getting some other inklings of some not so savory characters. In the mid 1926, Charles Mintz from Winkler Pictures makes a deal with Universal Pictures to produce a cartoon series featuring a rabbit. So Charles and his wife Margaret Mintz visit the Disney Studios at the Hyperion lot or Hyperion Studio and make a deal with Disney to create and animate said rabbit cartoon. in this same meeting, Charles Mintz tells Walt that their contract to produce the Alice shorts will be canceled due to lack of viewer interest, supposedly. That does not stop them making Alice comedies. Even with their threat of cancellation, they completed 14 Alice comedies in 1926, bringing their total to 46 Alice comedies by the end of 1926. So lots of introducing of people we'll hear from later and characters we'll hear from later happen in 1926. So that's your little bit of Disney history for these next 2 years, in 1925, 1926.
Nice. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is a really interesting year for them, especially with Oswald, right? So, you know, what's to come, it's a little bit of a heartbreak, and it isn't until quite recently, actually, where a young fella named Bob Iger makes a huge difference in the company. But
we got a long ways to go.
We got a long ways to go, exactly.
Yep.
You'll hear about that in November, probably.
At some point, we'll hear about it.
So stay tuned.
At some point, stay tuned. You'll hear about Bob Iger in November.
No, the young fella named Bobby
the young
Iger.
Fella, Robert A. Iger.
I thought you were going to say fettuccine, but...
Ooh.
Fettuccine. Robert Fettuccine.
Boberto Fettuccine.
We'll probably cover Robert Fettuccine in December. That's fairly recent.
All right, that's it. That's a great way to end the podcast. Thank you, Andrew, for continuing I don't even remember what it's called, but we're putting it on a sticker at the very least.
Neither do I. We'll come up with something. I'm going to have a name by next week. If nobody helps me, I'm going to come up with one.
I kind of like this one. I want it on a sticker.
Okay. All right.
We'll call it Andrew Segment 1.
Andrew... Parentheses. Yeah.
Andrew Segmentus Journey. I don't know. It's late. I think it's time to wrap it up. That's it. Until next time.
So. All right.
Keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Part of the Podketeers Network.